then we might give it all back from that move yesterday. But this is a very, very dangerous position to be in right now for Tron, and we definitely want to see some more green, some more liquidity, money flow into this to avoid the possible double top here on Tron. If you guys are writing this, I would be very, very careful here. I would put my stop loss just below the 9 EMA. If you guys are here and rode this here and have not taken profit, this might be a good area to take profit. Just keep that in mind. Looking at Neo, just as the other alts, had a nice strong move to the upside with Bitcoin, was able to break above the prior resistance and is now sitting at the new support, which is old resistance. Great spot to be in. This is what we want to see when we're able to break prior resistance. We want to make that prior resistance our new support. We were rejected by the 200 EMA, which is not a big surprise, but I'm very glad that we're able to hold currently above the old resistance, now new support. So hopefully we can continue that move. The MACD is looking very similar to the other coins that we just talked about. It's starting to arch because of the loss of volume coming into the market in the past 4 hours. So we have to keep an eye on that. RSI sitting right at overbought, right at the 70-point mark, and it's still 3 hours before China comes online. So we'll have to see what China does tonight and see if it can get away from the regular bloody Mondays that we're accustomed to seeing, and we have a nice green Monday for a change. Looking at our next coin of Icon, very similar pattern as far as the breakout to the top, the perfect rejection on the 200. However, Icon was not able to break prior resistance. So that's one thing I do not like. It was still rejected. It's been rejected after the move to after the rejection of the 200. It is now getting rejected by the old resistance line. So unfortunately, this did not have the follow through that LTC and ETH and some of the other coins that we just mentioned have in the regards of creating a new support on top of old resistance. We do have this gap, however, that was filled on the move up. So we're more than likely going to see this gap line now work as our new support. As we know, these gap lines, after they've been filled, they still have a purpose. Most of you who have taken my fib module understand that this now becomes our new support and resistance line for future trading until a new one is established. Looking at XLM, had a nice here W pattern, perfect close on here on this W, this completion. It was rejected on not only the gap line, but it was also rejected right on the 200 EMA. So that was a very, very tough one to break. It did not break it. Rejection came back down, and the 100 EMA caught it for support. So currently it is bouncing between the gap and 200 EMA and the 100 EMA for support. I would love to see a little bit more sideways action, allowing these indicators to come down just slightly and hopefully started to move back to the upside and crack the 200 for a move back up to these gap lines as the new resistance. Looking at Bitcoin Cash ABC, just like what was it that I just covered? Just like Icon, ABC was not able to break above prior resistance, so it got rejected before the 200 EMA and actually got rejected on prior strong resistance. So hopefully we can see some volume, some consolidation above the 100 EMA, and it can maintain the price action above the 100 EMA for another move up. This one, however, will have a much smaller target here, range to get rejected, which would be the 200 EMA, as we were unable to break it on the last attempt. And if we look to the left, it is still a very strong EMA to cross. So unfortunately, it doesn't look too good for ABC at the moment. Even if it goes up, it still has a very good possibility of being rejected here at the 200 EMA. The RSI does not look very good. It has a downtick over here at the overbought area at 67 points, and the MACD is starting to curve neutral, indicating that it might be losing momentum. Looking at our last one, Bitcoin Cash SV. very similar as ABC, was not able to break prior resistance. So prior support, resistance, and you can see here where it was rejected not only by the old resistance of here, but it was also rejected by the 200 EMA. So that was a very strong area to break. It did not have enough gas to break it, which I'm not surprised after this big move up. Remember, guys, from my EMA module, when you start crossing these EMAs, it takes a lot of fuel to break through these higher EMA time frames. And with this move, it broke through the 9, 30, 100 MA, 50 EMA, 100 EMA. So by the time it reaches the 200 EMA, it's very, very unlikely to see a move break the 200 after breaking all of these EMAs. So I'm not surprised at this move, but I would like to see some consolidation going on the 50 EMA for some sideways support, and then a move back to the upside. And my target at that point after crossing the 50 would probably be this first gap line here at $89.19. All right, guys, this concludes the first portion of our Zoom session for the TA. I will now open it to the audience, and please, I do encourage you guys to participate. It makes it much more interesting when you guys participate. And if you guys cannot click on the raise hand button because of your circumstance as far as maybe being at work, please type in your questions inside the chat box in the Zoom application, not in the Discord, as I am not looking at Discord right now. So since we don't have any raised hands, I'm looking at the chat box. Have I on gap chart yet? Jose, I thought I posted that inside of the gap charts on Discord. If I haven't, I'll do it today for you. Hey Siri, remind me in 1 hour to do gap chart for Jose. I will do it if it's not in there. If it's not in there, Jose, I'll do it for you, and I will I'll post it there on the Discord. Crypto Siraj, Nitron event on the 17th to the 19th. Hopefully, bring the liquidity. Is the swell event? It is the swell event of Tron. Okay. Look at the speakers at event. Oh, I think this is the one where that basketball player, Kobe Bryant, or yeah, something like that. He's going to be speaking, I think, which I don't know what he has to do with crypto, but I guess they just wanted a celebrity there. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think it's him who's going to be speaking at this event. All right, you're welcome. All right, guys, I don't have any questions in here, guys. If you guys don't have anything to talk about, can you look at Factum? Yes, I'll be more than happy to look at Factum. As a matter of fact, you know what? I want to leave this open. So let me open up a new chart. And if I'm not mistaken, Factum is FCT. That's a great coin. It's a great project. It's one of the few projects I actually researched back in 2017. Great concept, working with governments for, I want to say, more of the civil stuff, like keeping track of not only property, but everything, but a lot of like IDs but I think it was more for property. It was helping people like in rural China, where they have a hard time validating their property and their border and their boundaries. Projects like Factum help resolve those issues. If I'm not mistaken, wasn't that what it was, Mr. Mo? Factum, if you remember. Wasn't Factum the one to record? Or was that Proppy for the land? Proppy. Okay, then Factum is the one more for IDs, right? For like to validate who you are in the blockchain.
So like identification.
Yeah, and Factum was Tim Draper's. Tim Draper was backing that, if I'm not mistaken. I just remember making money on it. It did very well. I remember it went up to $25 and $25.50, if I'm not mistaken. You know what? I'm gonna look that up now because it made me. Let's see. Oh, you know what? It's on BTC rate. I'm pretty sure in dollar wise, it was like $25. It went up to, and it was like a couple of dollars. It was a nice ride. Factum this was a very nice ride. I didn't quite make it to the very top but I was able to still take some of this. I know I didn't write it to the very very top, but nevertheless, profit is profit. Looking at it now, you can see here. So let's look at here for some prior areas of support and resistance. So we have that area there, which was support, a little bit of resistance here. So I would imagine that this would be an area here that I would look at. And looking at the MACD and this bearish crossover happening in the 1 week time frame, more than likely you're going to see it test this support again on Factum here at 120 sats. So just be careful with this. If you are in it or if you're planning on buying some, I might put some alerts. Let's look at the smaller time frame. You might want to put some alerts as it's breaking the 100 MA here on the 1 day time frame for maybe some targets down here. On the 1 day time frame, it is starting to turn a little bit bullish, but the volume, if you look at it here, is not very good. So just be very, very careful with that you don't assume that this is a confirmation of a turnaround. You want to make sure you get some confirmation. And as you can see here on the 1 day time frame, the 9 EMA has been pushing this price action further and further down. And we're very, very close to a bearish crossover. So this support here is going to be the one to look at if you lose it. I would put an alert right below the 100 MA and then put another alert right above the 9 EMA. And once the 9 EMA is successfully closed and the next candlestick opens with a bullish confirmation, then and only then will I start thinking about taking a position if you are looking into taking one on Factum. Let's see, I think I had another request. Can you look at Factum? EOS. Okay. Looking at EOS on the 1 day time frame, you can see here where we had the nice move to the upside. We still got rejected below the 9 EMA. So the 9 EMA for the past, what looks like a couple of weeks here, was sitting right with the price action was sitting right above the 9 EMA. It lost it briefly here for these 2 days here, actually 1 day, because I was able to actually open and close above the 9 on that same day and maintain that price action. Now, when Bitcoin had that dump 4 days ago, you can see here what fell below it. And then today, it hit the 9 EMA and it got a perfect rejection. You guys look at that wick. Look at that. It got rejected right here on the 9 EMA. So this still has a little bit to go before I would say that it's a good place to start taking a trade. The 1 day time frame gives you a little bit, gives you, I think, in my opinion, a better sense of what that coin is doing. Because remember, guys, even though something might look bullish in the smaller time frames, the big moves, the real momentum is going to be shown on the higher time frames. There's a lot of stuff that can happen inside of this 1 day candle bar. There's a lot of ups and downs in here. So you want to make sure that for a larger ROI or a larger move to the upside, if you're an investor or a swing trader and you're looking for a nice hold and a nice move to the upside, you want to start looking at these higher time frames. If you're looking for a quick scalp, a quick move, obviously this is too late. I mean, I would not take a position here after it's gone up about 10%. I would wait, and you can even these indicators here show that it's going to start breaking down real soon if we don't get any volume. You see the volume just coming down. MACD is starting to turn. RSI is an overbought, pointing down, and I was rejected on the 200 EMA. So for short term, not looking too good. For longer terms, you still need a little bit more confirmation on the higher time frames. The 12 and the 1 day need to become a little bit more bullish before taking on a position in EOS, in my opinion. Let me take a look here. Go. Request by Light. Good to see you, Light. I appreciate the requests. Let's see here. Okay, Go. So let's look at go here. All right. So we had this gap. Look at this, guys. I love seeing this. This never doesn't get old for me. Actually, let me do this. Let me just get rid of this the writing here real quick. Okay, look at this, guys. Look at how perfect. There was a gap here on the 1 hour time frame, which is going to be inside of this 6 hour candle. But nevertheless, look how perfect this acts as a support on this old gap line. And this is the kind of stuff again that you already understand if you took my gap module, and if you haven't, I encourage you to do so. On Go, on the 6 hour time frame, we're finally above the 9 EMA, but we haven't closed above the 9 EMA. So I would want to see a little bit more confirmation on here. However, this move, this W, is looking really, really good for completion to about right here for a target. So far, let me look at the MACD just to confirm. But just looking at the candle formations, this looks good for a move to here, which would give us an ROI of about 7%. But besides that, you have to do a little bit more digging. So let's do this together. One of the things I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom out and I'm going to look for an EMA, a higher EMA that is a very tough one to cross. And I don't know if you guys can see what I'm trying to indicate to you guys. As a matter of fact, let me ask you guys, based on the chart that I have in front of me, what EMA am I most worried about if I'm looking to a move to here to complete this W? Can anybody answer that for me? Let me look at the chat box. Yep, exactly. The 50 yak. That's correct. The 50 EMA. And guys, the reason I get that is because if you look left, this 50 EMA rejected the price here. It broke through here, but quickly lost it. So I won't call this a really support area, more of a rejection. I want to see 3 touches above the 50 to say it was support, and we didn't get that here. We only got not even one here. So here, rejection again. Here, it was a little bit of support because we did have at least 3 candle bars above the 50, but nevertheless, if it breaks through here, I'm very, very confident that it will complete this W pattern. Now let's look at the MACD and see what it looks like. MACD looks great. Look at this. Look at this move from here. You can clearly see a nice move to the upside on the MACD. You can see here it's about to have a bullish crossover here. We got plenty of room. It's on the bearish side of the oscillator, so we have plenty of room on the upside. So the RSI is sitting at 46 points. Great area. So looking at the 6-hour time frame, if you're looking at Go, it is looking very decent right now. If you're inside of Go and you're looking for a target, my target would be the 50 EMA is one I would watch. So I would watch that very, very closely. I would watch the volume as it comes in. And also, I would be looking at, if it breaks above it, how well the momentum is. If it looks like the momentum is going to be able to close, and you also want to look at the time left on the candle as it's crossing the 50 EMA. I want you to look over to the right, and it usually has a clock here, and it'll tell you how much time is left. And then based on that, and based on how high you are up here, you can pretty much guess. You can pretty much have a probability that the next candle is going to open bullish if the volume is supporting that move, the indicators are supporting an upward move, so that you can now keep your eye on this as a target. If not, then I would put a stop loss right here below the 50 EMA, so you can protect some of your profit. module coming out is going to be support and resistance. So we are just actually contemplating whether we want to, whether we're going to do and I can go through it very, very quickly. So because it's such an easy module, we thought it'd be a great opportunity to involve the community so that we can have more questions that we're not thinking of that you guys would like some answers to regarding supporting resistance and make the module a little bit more interesting since it's going to be I think in my opinion, it'd be a very, very short training module, the support and resistance one. So tell me what you guys think. Send me your comments in the suggestion box inside of the Discord application when we're done with this meeting, and tell me if you guys would be, if you think it's a good idea, first of all, and if it is a good idea, if you guys are willing to participate. We'll block out a time that probably around one of our Zoom sessions, maybe half an hour before or half an hour after a Zoom session, and record it then, since that seems to be our peak time for our Zoom sessions and we have the most participation. Out of all the Zoom sessions that I've done, it's around this time that we have the most participation. So if you think it's something that interests you guys, please let us know. Or, me and Mo are always trying to work and hard for you guys and trying to make this as interesting, as educational, and as fun for you guys. We want you guys, if it's not fun, it makes it very difficult for you guys to want to study, or to make it interesting enough for you guys to continue your studies. So we're always trying to find of ways just to make it interesting, fun, and easy to learn. Um, let me finish looking at Nano. Excuse me. I looked here at the 12-hour time frame. Looks very, very good. So we basically had a nice pattern here where we came down to support. We came right back. The only thing I don't like right now is that it got rejected at the 9 EMA. So we need to break and close. We have 3 hours and 22 minutes left on the 12-hour time frame. So we need to break above this 9 EMA. Let's look at a smaller time frame here. This is the W pattern that I'm looking for on the last chart. What was it? Go, I think it was. So this is the perfect pattern. And look at this, guys. Look at the 50 EMA. Exact same scenario that I was just talking about. We're looking for the 50 to break. If it doesn't break on the 50, you'd put your stop loss. I just said, put your stop loss below it. And this would have triggered the stop loss. However, once you break above the 50 for confirmation, then you can take the trade up to the 200. So this actually is playing out exactly the way I would like to see the previous chart that we just finished talking about. Unfortunately, I cannot remember what it was. I think it was Go. But nevertheless, maybe you guys have a better memory at the moment and can recognize what I was just talking about in the previous chart. So right now, if you're looking for a position in Nano, you're too late. You missed it. In my opinion, I think you missed it. You didn't play this out. I would wait for a retracement of this move. So let's look for a retracement area. Okay, so I would want to see a retracement back to about 618 would give us a nice area of prior resistance. As you can see here, resistance here, resistance here, resistance here, and this here. So 618 would be a nice area of prior resistance. If you want to play it safe, you can put it to 0.50, which again is another area of resistance. So either these two areas here, and then hopefully Bitcoin has enough fuel and will continue to move this to the upside. But this here, I think you're a little too late to play on this move here without a proper retracement. Let's look at the next one. ABC, is there a bearish sign in 1 hour and 1 day time frame in MACD, but bullish crossover on the 4 hour and 6 hour? Does that mean it is being trading sideways? Bishal, which coin are you referring to? So I can pull it up, please. Which coin are you referring to? While you type that in, let me take a look at NXS for Jose. Hey guys, how many people here would like for me to do a gap chart right now for Jose? He wanted, what did you want? Ion? You guys want me to do it, or you guys think it's too boring? If you guys want me to do it, just type in at the yes at the chat in the chat box. We got 27 people live on right now. So if I can get at least more than 10 to say yes, I'll do it now. Okay, NXS. Uh, okay, so we're looking at the 1 hour time frame. You can see here we had that dump yesterday, like you mentioned. We had the dump. Look at the gap right here. So let me mark this gap because I like to see the way this gap worked on price action. So this gap here was created a new area of resistance. We broke above that. We broke above the 50. Very, very important. We closed for the past 2 hours. We closed above the 50, and now it looks like we're trying to work our way up to the 100. But look at this, man. There's just no volume. I'm sure this is a very low liquidity coin. You can just tell by looking at these volume bars. It's just super, super low. So I think if it moves up, it's gonna crawl its way up, and that's why I don't like trading these very low volume coins. It's oh my lord, you have to sit there and like watching water boil. REP. Okay. Rep. Okay, Rep had a nice breakout here on the 1 hour time frame. It's now retracing. It's looking good for those who bought here, who believed in this coin here and bought it. Congratulations. I would take some profit. Look at this. Look at the distance between the price action and the 9 EMA. You guys already know. You guys, I've said it plenty of times, but I will continue to repeat myself because this is about education. Whenever you guys see the space between the 9 and the EMA, be very, very careful that you start moving your stop losses up. This is a great indicator that the price is going to come back down. Whenever it rockets the way it did and it leaves a 9 EMA behind, you can almost always count on a retracement back to the 9 EMA. So this would have been a good area for profit taking. And look how far the price action when it was up here. Look how far it was from the actual 9 EMA. And then look at this. People who play that type of gap, that type of space, were the ones who took profit right here. And hopefully, and these guys here are the people who are buying because they're FOMOing in on this move and they don't understand this concept and they don't understand what retracements are for. So be very careful. You're not the guy buying this candle right here. Unfortunately, there are a lot of those people. Yes. All right. I'll check. I'll do the gap chart right now for you guys. Let me take a look at ZIL real quick for Stephanie. Okay, ZIL in the 1 hour time frame had a nice move here to the upside, broke the very, very important 200 EMA, and I love it that it closed above it. So we have two things that need to happen. The indicators show that a retracement is coming. So one of two things will allow this to cool down. A further downside, but yet maintaining the 200 EMA and going sideways will allow this to come back down and cool off, or a retracement back down here to the 50 EMA, which will probably put it at about the 50 or 618 retracement level. Let's take a look at it. Let's take a look at that real quick. So the 50 EMA, yeah, puts it right at about the 0.50 fib. Or the 618 would be another good area here, which is an actual fib extension sequence, the 618 on the Fibonacci level. So one of those two things happen: a proper retrace to cool this down, or some sideways action on top of the 200 EMA would be a bullish move for ZIL. And look at this pattern, guys. Again, look at this W. Look how perfect this W pattern played out. And there's a lot of coins right now that are playing this pattern out. And the one that I was talking about earlier has not played out. Okay, guys, let me look at ION, and I'll do the live gap, how I find the gap on ION. The first thing I want to do is, there's a lot of stuff. Oh, there is a gap. So I did look at the gap here before. Anyhow, let me just look at it. Let me clear this out. And let me double click here. And let me look at this. I look at the 1 week first to give me, oh yeah, there's nothing to look at here. The reason I look at the 1 week, guys, is I want to see how much price action is below the current price, and there is not much. So you can see here, by looking here, we're pretty much at the bottom. There's nothing for me to look at as far as a gap to the upside. There's no action down here, so there really is no gap, Jose. What I would like to do is I would now want to look at the indicators as far as how does it look. You can see here where it found the bottom, and now that we kind of zoom into the 1 day, we can see here where has the price action been bouncing off of. So let's look at here. So we see the move down here. We found bottom. We found bottom here. We found bottom here. We jumped. We bounced off of here. We came back down sideways, bounced off again, and now it looks like we're coming back down here. So this is a level here that I would be looking for. It is still below, has a big space between the 9 EMA and the price action. So the MACD here is telling me that we're losing momentum. So more than likely, we're going to come back down and test this support. I would keep my alert right here at the bottom area of the support and underneath the support for the event that it breaks down. And I wouldn't take a position into this here until a break and a confirmation above the 9 EMA is where I would want to look for a position. Now, however, if you're looking for long-term, and a lot of you guys are looking for long-term on ION, I would then concentrate my orders around here. And keep in mind that if Bitcoin breaks further down, which I believe that it will, you have a chance of still breaking down some more. But if you guys are buying something this low, do you really care that it might break down a little bit lower? Now, there is no other prior area of support, historical support, so who knows how much lower this is going to go. But then that's where your other training kicks in. Besides TA, you have the fundamentals. You have those who know about ION can start looking at the events, their roadmap, go to their website, see what they have planned, see what's going on with ION. That'll give you a good sense of direction to how well this project is doing, and the chances of falling below here might help you make a decision if you're comfortable buying at these. I would not worry. I would not have a second thought about buying these levels here. And if it drops some more, I would buy some more. I hear a lot of good things about this project. I have no clue what it does, but a lot of people do talk very, very positive about this project, and not people that are just coming to the space. People who've been here for a while and are very good at doing research have told me a lot of good things about ION. Let me look at, so I'm sorry I couldn't really find a gap for you guys. There's no place to look at. All right, okay, I guess that is ADA. ADA has a gap, Anusha. I know I did a gap for ADA, and it's over in our Discord. If you look at the sub channel at the bottom, it'll say a gap charts. Click in there and scroll up, and you'll see ADA's a gap chart. All right, guys. Well, thank you very much for your participation. Mr. Mo, did you want to, do you have anything to say before I close out the show?
No, I think
Okay.
that was it. I probably just comment that, so we saw price move to the upside, but we also saw that the Bitcoin difficulty rate actually came up. So that just happened. And when you guys have a moment, look at that and look at, because I think that we will see a correlation between Bitcoin hash rate and difficulties and also price. So I think it's part of the story there. But that's it, man. So everyone have a good day, and see you on the next.
All right, great. All right, perfect. Let me end the show here. Let me stop recording. All right, perfect. We stopped recording. You're welcome, Sonny. You're welcome, Jose. Let me make sure. Yak TA is never boring. Oh, Jose, I missed your question. Are you still here, Jose? Send me a chat yes on the chat box if you're still here, and I'll take a look at that for you. An Ion target. You are? Okay. Give me 1 second. I'm just reading your question. If you don't mind, target for Ion, I have it.